slowly, time goes by. So 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 slowly. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up on you, waiting for your call, baby, night and day. I'm fed up, I'm tired of waiting on you. Time goes by so slowly for those who wait. No time to hesitate. Those who run seem to have all the fun. I'm caught up, I don't know what to do. Time goes by so slowly. Time goes by so slowly. Time goes by so slowly. I don't know what to do. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up on you, waiting for your call, baby, night and day. I'm fed up, I'm tired of waiting on you. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up on you, waiting for your call, baby, night and day. I'm fed up, I'm tired of waiting on you. Ring, ring, ring goes the telephone. The lights are on, but there's no one home. Tick, tick, tock, it's 1:45, and I'm done. I'm hanging up on you. I can't keep on waiting for you. I know that you're still hesitating. Don't cry for me, 'cause I'll find a way. You'll wake up one day, but it'll be too late. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up on you, waiting for your call, baby, night and day. I'm fed up, I'm tired of waiting on you. Every little thing that you say or do, I'm hung up on you, waiting for your call, baby, night and day. I'm fed up, I'm tired of waiting on you. Glitter on the wet streets, silver over everything. The river's all wet, you're all chrome. I'm dripping with alchemy. Shiver, stop shivering. The glitter's all wet, you're all chrome. The man cried out, the girls cried out, the man cried out, the girls cried out, the man cried out. Oh no. The man cried out, the girls cried out, the man cried out, the girls cried out, the man cried out. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, off with your head. Dance, dance till you're dead. Heads will roll, heads will roll, heads will roll on the floor. Off with your head. Dance, dance till you're dead. Heads will roll, heads will roll, heads will roll on the floor. I know that we are young, and I know that you may love me, but I just can't be with you like this anymore. Alejandro.
She's got both hands in a pocket, and she won't look at you, won't look at you. She hides true love in superstition. She's got a halo around her finger, around you. You know that I love you, boy, hot like Mexico. Rejoice at this point, I've gotta choose nothing to lose. Don't call my name, don't call my name, Alejandro. I'm not your babe, I'm not your babe, Fernando. Don't wanna kiss, don't wanna touch, just smoke my cigarette and hush. Don't call my name, don't call my name, Roberto. Alejandro, Alejandro. Alejandro, Alejandro. Alejandro, Alejandro.
Stop, please. Just let me go. Alejandro, just let me go.
She's not broken, she's just a baby. But her boyfriend's like a dad, just like a dad. And all those flames that burn for him, now he's gonna firefight, God cool the bad. You know that I love you, boy, hot like Mexico. Rejoice at this point, I've gotta choose nothing to lose. Don't call my name, don't call my name, Alejandro. I'm not your babe, I'm not your babe, Fernando. Don't wanna kiss, don't wanna touch, just smoke my cigarette and hush. Don't call my name, don't call my name, Roberto. Alejandro, Alejandro. Alejandro, Alejandro. Alejandro, Alejandro. Alejandro, Alejandro. Don't bother me, don't bother me.
Oh my god!
Don't call my name.
Third stream of the day, everybody. Okay, why is this not working? Let's see. There we go. There we go. Oh my god. Oh, she's never not streaming. She is never not streaming. Here we go. Hi, everybody! What a day it's been. Congratulations on streaming for the first time. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's still showing streaming with Cutie. Cutie, come on out of the closet. Come on. She's not ready to come out of the closet yet. I'm sorry. Okay, let me fix this. Why does it say streaming with Cutie still? All right. Okay. Now. Oh, yes, it's yep. Yep, we are still. I guess I'm leaving stream together. All right. Okay, so I am tired AF, but I promised you guys we would do film class because it has been a few weeks, and I try to be a woman of her word. Also, yeah, this light is. Oh. Let me just pull up my pajama pants like this. That's right. I got my PJ pants on. I got my PJ pants on because I am tired. It's PJ pants time. Okay, let me try to fix this. One more time. One more time. Come on. That doesn't want to work. Okay. All right. Thank you for film night. You're welcome. Look, it's been a long week. Okay. It's been a long week. Also, it is still Pride Month. It is still Pride Month. If you tuned in at all, if you donated at all to the stream, the Creators for Peace stream today, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for supporting. I have the link at the top. Let's see where we're at. I know the stream is wrapping up. Let's see, creators. Yeah, I think it's at the end. Let's tune in and see. We're at $20,000. Just under $20,500. If anyone has a couple bucks to spare, every dollar counts for our trans siblings who we have been raising money for today. Still so near. The music dies. You don't see me standing here. I just came to say goodbye. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. The link for the charity is pinned at the top. Let's see if we can get to 21,000. Take it home. Ooh, I keep dancing on my own. I keep dancing on my own. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. I'm right over here. Why can't you see me? I'm giving it my all, but I'm not the guy you're taking home.
Keep on dancing, doll.
Because remember, you guys, look, there's a lot of bad shit that's happening, but we cannot forget to also lead with joy and with love. You know, we can't make the world a better place if we don't have a wide spectrum of emotions here. I can't see the link. It's pinned at the top, but we can. Here, I will also just keep linking it in Happy Father's Day
Happy Man's Festival.
to all the fathers.
Oh, God, yay!
Oh, the hype train. Here, I'll just.
Love you
Here
guys,
is our link.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah! Except Elon, fuck that guy. Oh yeah, fuck that guy. So, anywho, that link will be live if you wanted to donate a couple bucks. It goes to Point of Pride. Point of Pride, which is an LGBTQ org, and specifically this stream was raising money for gender affirming care, and every donation counts. Strumdog, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. Let me thank Peeps really quickly. Strumdog, thank you for the 3 months as well. Zup, thank you for the 14 months. Megan, thank you for the 7 months. Sweet Black Tea, thank you for the 7 months. Anarchy Math, thank you for the Prime. Nexus Sin, thank you for the 3 months. Concuss, thank you for the 32. And then thank you to everyone who subbed this morning for the Mormon stream. What a time. I am still dying. I am still dying from all the delicious, delicious foods that we consumed, that we made and then we consumed. Hey, how did yesterday go with the protest? Yeah, I can briefly touch on that. I don't want to, usually when I do film class, I start stream earlier. It is already 7:30. I am really cooked from today, but I wanted to deliver film class to you all. So I would like to try and start that around 8 o'clock, but I will briefly fill you in on how yesterday was, stuff from today. I don't quite think they caught the assassin. Yeah, y'all, I am not going to do any news right now. We will save that for this week. Sundays are usually my break from covering news. If you need more breaking news coverage, or if you just want more news coverage in general, there are plenty of great streamers who are doing that right now. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it right now. Also, Sundays are really supposed to be a day where like we take a little breather. And also I have a film for us tonight that is in the spirit of Pride Month. On the spirit of Pride Month, and I have not done film class yet this month, and that is so homophobic of me. Oh, so anti-LGBTQ of me. Yeah, it's Shrek 2. Yeah, Shrek 2, famously such a gay movie. But anyway, okay, so that's the plan for tonight. And I will just say to those of you who have been like glued to the news, you got to take some breaks. Like it's important to know what's going on, but also good to take a break from it all. You know, I don't think it helps you. I don't think it helps all the people that we're trying to help when we are just constantly locked in. Will! Oh, my queen, y'all. Will Neff dressed in full drag, and he got his ass out and was dancing, was slaying next to Miss Vivian Wilson. And then Will, what was the name? Who's the drag queen who did your look? Will was on point. The nips came out. Yeah, the nips they came out. Skyva, thank you for the 33 months. I know, 15 days in no gay movies. We're taking notice. I know. Oh, trust. Why do you think I'm here? Bitch Puddin', yes. Shout out to Bitch Pudding, who did Will's look, and who is also one of the 3 drag queens who finished up the last segment of Any Chance You Know Where My Donna wig or costume is? Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh. It is probably in one of these boxes. It is probably in one of these boxes, probably in the closet. Wig, I could maybe find you a wig. I don't know if it's going to be but remember, Donna isn't a costume. She's a real woman. That's right. She's a lady. She's a real lady. Lo Brian, thank you for the 12 months. D Shoes, thank you for the Prime. Rebel Narco, thank you for the 5 months. Okay, do you want me to look for you right now? What do you want me to do? I know, you guys. Donna's in the closet along with Cutie on Pride Month. On Pride Month. Free Donna. Free her. Free her. Yeah, Cutie's also in the closet. There's a heck of a lot of people. Heck of a lot of people in the closet. Okay, let me figure out what he needs. What does he need from me? What does he need from me? Yes. Will, are you still here? You still here, William? La Babalin, thank you for the 20 months. Small Kitty, thank you for the 14 months. Paging Will. All right, well, anyway, while I'm waiting for him. So yesterday I went to the No Kings protest, and I will just briefly talk about what that was like. I went to the WeHo No Kings protest. There were a lot of different protests around. I would say the word protest for some of these, depending on where you were, depending on what the vibes were, was doing a bit of heavy lifting. But you know what I will say? Ultimately, having this many people mobilized like that is great. Now we just have to direct them. We have to organize them, right? Mobilizing is not enough. Got to get the people organized as well. And obviously the Democratic Party is not the savior party here. And so a lot of people who were out yesterday who typically don't go to protests, you're not going to find them maybe at a pro-Palestine march, maybe haven't been at protests before yesterday. There was definitely that energy of like, if Kamala were president, we'd all be at brunch. What? You're sitting at brunch after you went to this protest with your sign saying, if Kamala were president, we'd all be at brunch. Like, you're literally at brunch right now. And also, this is the disconnect, right? So that's the connection we got to make. Got to make that connection. But I just want to say, like, I know there's been a lot of conversation around the No Kings protests, and having people turn out in numbers like that is huge. Okay, the numbers are massive. 200,000 people who were downtown. You know, just tons of people who mobilized across the country. Mobilization is good. For some people, it was their first protest. And so rather than, I think, kicking them in the face and telling them that what they're doing is not good enough, I think that's not the way to inspire, you know? So I think, I think it's taking that energy and then putting it towards real productive organization. But that's where that's where we need to be, like, platforming organizers. You know, we need to be listening to people who have done this work for years and who are not the kind of people who are going to be spending their time like shitting on everyone who went to these protests, and instead are figuring out, like, how do we now organize these masses? Like, that is what real in the streets, dyed in the wool organizers have spent their lives doing. They are some of those patient, amazing people. And so that's basically my take on that. We're like, yeah, were there a lot of signs of the protest that was like down with the orange Cheeto, very in the vein of Orange Man Bad kind of liberalism, painting Donald Trump as an individual problem rather than a symptom, kind of having this idea still that the Democrat, I know I said I don't do politics on Sunday, but that the Democrats are going to be the party that saves. No, I will say yesterday I was really happy to see that. So where we met in West Hollywood Park, there was like one big group and then there was a smaller group, and there was a guy who got up on the mic, and I don't know who he was because I came in like right after he'd started speaking. He got up on the mic and he was calling everyone out. You know, he was not just like down with the Cheeto. He was talking about how Karen Bass, a liberal mayor, and Gavin Newsom, a liberal governor in a blue state, have, you know, continuously sick the dogs being the LAPD, on protesters. And he was making the connection between all of these various groups of law enforcement who have been brutally beating down upon protesters, which we have seen every single day that these anti-ICE protests have occurred. And yeah, I mean, he was spot on. And like the crowd was kind of, some people were like, fuck yeah, that's right. Others are kind of a little confused, holding their like down with the Cheeto signs, because it's maybe something that they haven't made the connection of yet. Yeah, you know? So here's a bit of what you were talking about. Let me... United Liberation Front for Palestine condemns the pointless billionaire-funded establishment-backed acts of protest. This is not resistance. This is a video. Okay, yeah. I mean, look, what I'm basically trying to say is I think pointing out who is funding these style of protests, what their intentions are, how this is not the direction that we want to push people, you know, just push them there and then leave them there, because a lot of people then they'll go to something like that and then they don't know what else to do, or they feel like, yeah, I did my part. So I think it's really taking advantage of this mass mobilization, all of this anger that people have, and also their drive to exhibit solidarity, right? Like stand up for people here and around the world. So anyway, that's kind of my point there. You know, I imagine it's probably going to be a radicalizing moment for some of them. Like hopefully these folks will get there eventually. This is just the first step. Right. And it's up to the rest of us who have gotten there, who are past there, to help then push people in the direction that we all need to collectively be, right? It's not pushing them towards the Democratic Party, who are utilizing state and local law enforcement to beat the shit out of us, right? It's like, people are seeing this, and that's the thing. They're seeing this, okay? They see the cops. This might be the first time that they're seeing the LAPD, that maybe they were at a protest where the cops were the ones who were shooting at the protesters, and they saw it for their own eyes. It's like, it's helping people then to connect all of this, you know, education. And I've seen so many videos too in the last couple days of like KTLA, like news, local and national news who covered these, who are like shocked. They go, we just don't understand that these protesters were so peaceful. They were just walking, and then suddenly the police started shooting these rounds, and they started spraying gases and blah, blah, blah. Where like you can see in this moment, a lot of people, it's the first time that they're seeing these things, that they're starting to like question what is the role of law enforcement. During BLM protests, I ran into a pet sitting client I hadn't seen in years. She was just walking her dog and ran into the protest, the excitement she had when she was asked how to get more plugged in and involved. Yeah, so this is something we'll cover more of. Can you give advice as to what to say when they're still in the scolding phase, like scolding people for not being Team Kamala enough? I mean, are you talking about like Blue MAGA? I mean, Blue MAGA is like, it's like Red MAGA, except they're on Team Blue. They look at politics as team sports. So it's harder to move people like that blue and on. But there's a lot of Democrats, a lot of liberals out there who are furious with the Democratic Party. They are. Like I said, my New York Times reading mother, dyed in the wool Democrat and checks all the boxes for like the current Democratic voter, white lady, well-to-do, lives in the suburbs, and she's so angry. And so I'll show her people like Zoran, and I go, look at these, not that, we live in New York, but anyway, that's just an anecdote from my own life where my mom is an example of someone who I have been helping her to understand how the Democratic Party is not going to come in here and save the day because of whose interests that they serve, and trying to show her like these cops aren't here to keep people safe, that kind of stuff. I saw a ton of different countries' flags in the crowd yesterday in SD, including many Palestinian flags. I was pleasantly surprised to see for the first time Gen X and older people not being upset about that visual, but making the connection between genocidal oppression and fascism, being connected everywhere, being curious and asking questions to understand more. It was the most helpful I've felt in months. Yeah, and I think it should show you that at these protests, you're seeing trans flags, you're seeing Palestine flags, you're seeing Mexico flags. You're not seeing, maybe one or two here and there, but you're not seeing people flying the flag of Israel. You're not seeing these flags being represented that are represent hostile states or hostile belief systems. So I think looking at the protests across the country and just the combination of issues that are being represented at a protest that, yes, were very liberal organized, and yet the coalition, the collage of all of these vulnerable groups who are under attack and people who are coming out to protest for all of them, right? Connecting from, making the connection from fuck ICE to free Palestine to trans rights or human rights, etc. So these are about, human beings who are under attack, the rights of human beings to live lives of freedom and dignity. And so, those are the connections to make. But anyway, you mean they're not satisfied with Dem leaders doing this over and over? You just told 74-year-old Senate Minority Leader
What did he do?
Chuck Schumer, who's been in Congress for 27 years, that President Trump just suspended habeas corpus and is mass arresting political enemies.
You better not do that, Mr. President. He did what? Oh, my God. He can't do that. Somebody's got to stop him.
Hey, we need to
Mr.
figure out what's
President,
going
you can't do
on.
that.
It was like after the videos of Alex Padilla being fucking manhandled by Kristi Noem security and just being brutalized, and Chuck Schumer's like, we got to get to the bottom of this. We got to find out more info. It's like, brother, you old fuck. What more information do you need? Oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this, okay? This is not how we do things in America. And as soon as we find out what happened here, then it is all over. Timmy, thank you for the 27 months. Bard again, thank you for the 16. Okay, so let me give you some clues for what we are doing for film night, because I do not have a terribly long stream in me. Because I have essentially been, I had to get up this morning at 8:30 to do my Mormon hair. Because Cutie, She didn't even do her hair. She requested specifically, she was like, Mormon hair, and sent me a picture. I was like, okay. So I got up and I curled it and I did my church makeup. And then we did our Mormon stream. we did our church service. Okay, so you guys, I'm sorry. I know there's so many things to talk about. There's a lot of links to look at. We're gonna save it all for next week of streams, okay? Because the reason that I am live is to do film night, and I have been doing streams out and about since like 11 this morning. So, your clues for what we're watching tonight. We are watching a film that I have talked about a lot because of its particular place in Oscars history. And it is the first film to win Best Picture that has a gay lead. Believe it or not. First film to win Best Picture that has a gay lead. And also it's not fucking Crash. No, unfortunately, Brokeback Mountain did not win Best Picture because fucking Crash won Best Picture. So, no, it's not Brokeback Mountain. Also, Brokeback Mountain was not free online to watch. But this film also had the first all African-American cast that won Best Picture. Insane that it took until 2017 for both of those things to be true. First gay lead, also African-American cast. The inspiration behind this film was, and this filmmaker, the director has talked about it, that he was very inspired by, in particular, the films of Wong Kar-wai, Chungking Express, In the Mood for Love, Claire Denis, famous French film director, and Spike Lee. A lot of you have gotten it already, but this film won a total of 3 Oscars. 3 of them. Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, because it's actually adapted from an unproduced play, if you didn't know, and then Best Picture. That's right, folks. We're talking about Envelope Gate. We're talking about the craziest mix-up of all fucking time at the 2017 Oscars between La La Land and Moonlight. When La La Land was announced as the winner of the Best Picture, and they went up on stage and they were giving their speeches, and then, oh, wait a second. Hold on, there's been a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won. This is not a joke. You guys won. Congratulations. Get up here. You won. And then everyone was like, what? Whoa. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find the celebrity face collage when Moonlight La La Land mix up. Okay. Yeah, this is a thing that I have covered many times. I have talked about the La La Land mix up, and of course it gave us this crazy collage of celebrity faces when the realization finally hit people that the big budget, big studio, big starry, big Hollywood production, La La Land, had in fact not won the biggest prize of the night. And it actually went to The Little Film That Could, a film that had a budget of only $1.5 million, a film that was directed by Barry Jenkins, a film that had pretty much all unknown actors with the exception of Mahershala Ali, as well as Naomi Ackie. And that film was Moonlight, of course, and Moonlight went on to actually get the Best Picture trophy. Oh, Janelle Monáe as well. Yeah, Janelle Monáe, but for the most part, it is a film with unknown actors. unknown Black actors. It is the first, as I said, African-American cast to win Best Picture, which is crazy that it took until 2017 for that, and also for a gay lead. Who is the old fuck? So remember, it was Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway who announced it, but it was not their fault because the envelopes got fucked up, and it was actually Price Waterhouse Cooper. That is the company that has done the Oscars envelopes for a long time, and it is a very, very secretive process. There's only like three people who know, two people who know the totals. They're standing off, or who the results. They stand off on either wing. They were the ones that fucked it up. Definitely got fired. Black actors that should be more present on my screen, more projects, and yet, yeah, I mean that has been a question a lot of people have asked of the actors who were in Moonlight, and it's like, where are they? Where are they? These young actors who, for many of them, it was one of their first projects, and where are they? Was this A24's first Best Picture win? That's a good question. Let me look that up. Yes, it was. It was the first film distributed by A24 to win the Academy Award. Yep. For Best Picture. Yep. And then that kind of like kicked off a big A24 moment. Are we watching Moonlight? I haven't had the chance to see it yet. Yes, we are watching Moonlight. Sweater Lady, thank you for the 4 months. Biff Tannen. Biff Tannen. Hold on a second. Thank you for the 3 months. Burgles, thank you for the 5 months. So I was like, look, I was looking around to see what films we could watch. Moonlight was available, and I was like, I think that this is one of those films where if you haven't seen it, not just for Pride Month, but in general, I think it's a film that you should see. I think it's a film that shows you how you don't need a lot of money to make a really impactful film. That in having in having gorgeous visuals, in having well written characters who you witness go on an emotional journey, having character driven dramas, something that I kind of feel, I don't know, I look around a lot and I don't see much of. Moonlight was made for $1.5 million. It was filmed in 25 days. And it's also one of the rare times that like a film that isn't a big studio film wins the biggest award at the Oscars. And that's why it like was a punch in the gut that Envelope Gate happened, because it overshadowed the moment. But also was a nice change up from films that typically win, because the awards award season that culminates in the Oscars, it's about marketing. And so these studios that have a lot of money put a lot of money behind their, not just making these films, but also marketing the films. And so it's why a lot of times little indie films, ones that already are struggling to put together a budget, let alone have money for marketing the film during award season, they struggle to be seen and get attention, and really rely a lot on like word of mouth type grassroots style campaigns. Do studios lobby the Academy? I mean, yeah, you can't be like, I'm lobbying the Academy, and there are rules, but yes, Harvey Weinstein changed the way that Oscars season is run because of how aggressive he was in pushing Shakespeare in Love for Best Picture, and because it actually worked and it beat Saving Private Ryan, which a lot of people thought was going to win, thought should have won. To this day, Shakespeare in Love winning over Saving Private Ryan is considered one of the like moments in Best Picture wins. But yeah, so lobbying, but being not as like explicit in the lobbying. Absolutely, you know, directors, talent, etc. They go spend months doing interviews, going to Academy luncheons, like doing all of this extra work that used to not be the norm, but doing that because that's how things work now. They don't even watch all the nominated movies. Yeah, and a lot of times we know the Academy voters, they're not even watching the majority of these films. They're watching the ones that are being talked about, or they're watching the ones that are like, I don't know, easiest for them to watch. Okay, I'm sincerely so excited we're watching this tonight. It's been on my list forever. I don't know why I keep putting it off, but I'm excited to finally be watching it, especially with this community. Yay! All right, so we are going to start oh, did I say Naomi Aki? Oh my god, I meant Naomi Harris. Sorry, Naomi Harris, who's in the film. Yes, she's one of the great black actresses of our generation. Does not get enough credit for her contributions. She is so fucking good in 28 Days Later. She's incredible, and I think it was her first. It was like one of her first, and that film was also a small bit budgeted film. But I think that was like kind of her introduction to audiences. And then after that, I think her major role was Calypso in when did Pirates come out? Pirates of the Caribbean 2000, or was she in that? I don't remember. Whatever. But yeah, she's incredible. She's so fucking good. That film has also been completely out of legal circulation for like a decade straight. Yeah, and then it came back because 28 years later is coming out soon, and I'm so excited. Read out loud. Thank you for the 22 months. Burgles, thank you. We watched Saving Private Ryan for Will's film night kind of recently, and when I heard it was not a Best Picture winner, I was flabbergasted. That is because of Harvey Weinstein. Absolutely. So many reasons for Harvey Weinstein to rot in jail, of course, because he's a rapist piece of shit.
Quinn Cruel.
But also, don't forget that he is he took the prize that was that Saving Private Ryan deserved. And then he got up there on stage and was like, yeah. Like he even booted out the main producer of it and was like, thank you, everybody. Oh, shit. Wait, let's see. Oh, my God. Wait, what kind of makeup did you usually do for Donna? You didn't do like...
No, I just did like regular ladies makeup.
Wow. You look Gorgina. Do you feel fierce?
Man, look at the tricep with the makeup.
Do you feel so fierce?
Yeah. I feel like a drag superhero.
Oh my God, I feel like you should just never take it off. We need to learn how to do drag makeup.
We like hell. Me.
No, well, I'm saying I'll learn how to do it so I can do it on you. What do you mean, me? Me like hell?
I'm just kidding.
This fucking guy. He looks like an 80s rock. I swear to God, one of...
I'm sorry, I'm doing this in the back here.
If it's not in there, is it in the closet in the guest room maybe? I know it's in a box. It is in a box. Wait a minute, what? Oh, the pants!
Half of it.
The pants.
Surely the top is nearby, right?
Surely, maybe. Anonymous gift. Oh, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Hey, the stream, the Creators for Peace stream got over 20K.
Let's go.
Raised over 20K, which is very exciting. $20,000 in funds going to gender affirming care,
Let's go.
which is great. So, anyway, okay, all right. Let's while he's doing that, I'm gonna pull up these rules so we can get going here. Is this Cutie Cinderella's first film night with us? She will not come out of the closet. Kitty! Get your ass out of there! I don't know. She's shy. She's so shy.
Red wing. Wait, we're
Wait,
cooking.
I can find you one. Here, I'm just gonna pull the. Yeah, that's not the right one though. No, I know I have like 10 red wigs.
So grab your gap and grab a seat.
Hogan, thank you for the gifted.
Don't forget to get something to eat. Delicious meat and nutritious meat.
You can't beat my meat for a special treat. Sucking on me is really neat.
Don't be a jerk and don't be a fool. Be a good neighbor and follow these rules. What are these rules? Remember to keep your shoes on at all times. Don't pull your penis out unless you really need to. Indecent exposure is a class 2 felony.
Wait, Caroline, you know Donna? Yeah, I sleep with Donna every night. Sleep next to that queen.
Oh. Thought she was dead.
Oh, she's back, isn't
Oh,
she?
hello, everybody.
Donna.
Wow.
Donna,
Oh,
God, we've needed you.
yeah, when the world needed her the most, she took a trip down to Tijuana and found a pool boy. But now I'm back.
Donna, I need help.
What do you need help with?
My boyfriend will not stop farting, and I just don't know what to do.
I think you called in before about this, didn't you?
No, that was a different problem.
was a different
leaving
problem?
the toilet seat down.
Oh, right.
Or not putting it down.
I gotta go. I think someone's at the front door. I'm so
No,
sorry.
but Donna, I need Donna, I don't know what to do about it. He thinks he won't stop. He's got a problem. Donna. Ah, God. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Fuck, I just told you.
Okay. All right. Oh, make love to Donna for 5 gifted on stream. Wow. She said, "Fuck it, I'll do it." Donna for 5 gifted subs. That's your going, right? Yeah. Oh, you're going for? A $25 suck job. That's right. All right. So everybody, we are watching 2016's Moonlight. It is a coming of age drama. It is directed by Barry Jenkins. It was based on Terrell Alvin McCraney's semi-autobiographical unpublished play that was called In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue. And Mahershala Ali won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for this. And it has been it's been cited on a lot of lists as one of the best films of the 21st century. And yeah, I'm excited. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, and I'm gonna lie to myself and say this movie came out 4 years ago. Yeah, Aware. 2016 was 9 years ago. 2016 was 9 years ago, and by that it was last year. So, without I've seen this movie so many times and it's still no, it's the end, it's the credits. Oh my god. You know, it's so interesting because oh Jay, what's up? First time I've seen it, thanks for showing it was beautiful. It's so interesting because people, it's like they get so used to the third act of a film. Oh, it's got to have all this action, right? It's got to get to this climactic moment. It's got to have a big monologue, like where he's like, "Yes, I'm gay." And what I love about Barry and the performances is that it doesn't have to go to that place. It doesn't go to that place because it doesn't need to go to that place. There doesn't need to be some big dramatic monologue. And then, you know, and I think too, the fact that there's so much tension, right? The last 30 minutes, there's so much tension, not just like sexual tension, but tension of their past and like how much is not being said. And, you know, there's, they don't say everything to each other, but he holds him at the end because I've been crying for like an hour. I know. But yeah, like him holding him at the end to me is just so, it's such a beautiful moment, right? And you know, another director could have taken that film, as I said, in the direction of this big dramatic monologue. They're yelling. He's like, "You punch me in the face." He's like, because I was gay too. You know what I mean? And then they have sex and whatever. But it's so quiet and it's so restrained. But then it's like that beautiful release at the end holds him, you know, when he loves him for who he is, and he's like, I see you, you know. It's a great thematic ending because the first time he's really opened up to someone. Yeah, and I think we see, first of all, I just have to shout out all three of the actors. I'm gay too. All three of the actors who play Sharon, because as I said, oh, by the way, if this is your first time seeing Moonlight, please put a 1 in chat. Please put a 1 in chat. First time seeing Moonlight. The way that I like to do film class is I try not to interrupt too much. Like, I'll say some things here and there. I don't like to pause the movie. So I mean to say this before we watch the film, but I like to watch and then talk about it afterwards. I got some gay buddies, a few that are black, and in these communities, it's hard to be yourself. Great movie. Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers of, you know, what's going on here, you know, politically, socially, but ultimately this is a character piece, right? It never lets up on what it is, which is a character driven drama. And it's not a film where the subject matter is gayness or blackness. These are all parts of Sharon's identity, but it's why it's so gorgeously done. And again, in lesser hands, this is a film where like it just hits you on the head with the issues, right? And there's this big climatic moment at the end, and you know what I mean? So it's so wonderfully done, and it never pulls away from this being about the people who are at the heart of the film, and namely Sharon, right? This is his journey. Mahershala Ali is so fucking good. He is only in the first chapter of the film and still won that Oscar because that's how fucking good he is. He's so good. And that's another thing too. I love that like they didn't make a big to-do, you know, there wasn't a big death scene with Juan where like a big drug dealer shootout. You don't know, he died, could have gotten cancer, right? You don't know. And they don't belabor his death. And you kind of, when it opens up and he goes to see Teresa, you kind of like, you're like, oh no, where's Juan? But and then you get like, you know, the funeral line, blah, blah, blah. But that's life, right? Like he had such a significant effect on Sharon's life that even when Juan is gone and there's not some like, the you know, in the script, it's not any big moment around Juan, but like you see the impact that he still has on Sharon's life even after he's gone. Man, most of chat. Oh God, I'm so happy for those of you. Ty Guy, thank you for another 5 gifted subs. Appreciate you. I'm so happy for those of you who it was your first time seeing it. I really hope you love this film as much as I do. So what was I saying? Blah, blah, blah. The actors who play Sharon, as I said, none of them met each other. They did not watch each other work. And Barry Jenkins, in directing them, made sure that he did not direct them to be an imitation of each other. And instead, it really feels like the progression of this person from a little boy to a teenager to an adult man, and truly seeing the growth in him without it feeling like these actors were trying to imitate one of, you know, the other's performances. It just felt, it felt so organic, and it really felt like you saw, you know, that's clearly a very theatrical, like you can tell this comes from a play having a creative structure like that, where you have this story told in 3 chapters and you have, you know, different actors playing the main character as he grows. And the one thing that all 3 of them you could really see in his eyes, right? That you see the sadness in the youngest, right? In the first chapter in Sharon, when he's called Little, you see that sadness and that pain start to develop in his eyes. And then as a teen, that like you see that more there as he's watching from afar, as he's there's a lot going on in his life. He's gay, he's poor, he's black, he's pretty friendless, he struggles to fit in, and you see these emotions in his eyes, emotions that he hasn't been taught how to express in this world, right? But we see it all there. And then adult Sharon, he has those same sad eyes. He has those same repressed pain in his identity as a gay man. And that, like, to me, the way that Barry Jenkins directed all three of them, where they are it's separate performances, but they really do build on one another, and it's just so fucking gorgeous, man. Yeah, and so this is a film that as I said, it's a character-driven drama, and it's about identity. Who is you, right? That's what Kevin asks him, Juan, in the beginning, when he's like, "Who do you want to be?" Right? Who are you? And that's something that he's figuring out, and I think that's something that, like, not all of us are gay, black, grew up in poor and really harsh conditions. Mom is a drug addict, like, just a lot of trauma and pain in his life. But I think, what life is all about, and what ultimately I think film is it's about human connection, right? It's the human connection that forms us, that makes us who we are, that affects the paths that we take in life. And so you you connect to these characters, even though you may come from totally different circumstances in life. And I think that's the other thing too. Look, okay, there are characters in this film throughout that are very morally complicated, right? That I don't think Barry Jenkins is telling you, feel sorry for these people and that's it, that's all. But he's also asking you not to condemn them. And instead, he's showing you these complex people, right? He's doing such amazing character work, from Juan to the mom to, I know, this fucking light. I know, I'm so sorry. Let me turn my main light on and then. I think I just have to replace this thing. Hold on a second. Let me just turn it off. I'd argue that the tension, the awkwardness, the moments of silence when they're wondering how the other person will react, they're all emotionally impactful as a movie that's loud and yelling. I mean, film is show, don't tell, right? And I think there is such power. There's such power in what's unsaid. Scripts with memorable dialogue, films with lines of dialogue that are just stand the test of time, et cetera, et cetera. Dialogue can be very powerful, but also what characters don't say. Because think about that in life, in conversations that we have with people, and what we're not saying. And when you're an actor, like when you train to be an actor, you are training in not just reading you're not just reading the lines of dialogue on the page. You're figuring out what is not on the page, but what exists in this world of these characters who you are inhabiting. It's so much about what is unsaid as well, right? It's like the scene, oh God, there's so many scenes that get me, but honestly, one of my earlier Twitter memories is reading Twitter discourse about this movie, not getting it all the time. Oh, this is my first time actually seeing it. Sometimes fuck Twitter discourse, okay? Go watch a movie for yourself. Go see how it makes you feel. Fuck discourse. Who gives a shit what people are saying online? Don't base your decisions off of what the fuck you're reading in the algorithm. Go watch something. Go see how you feel. Go see what an impact it has on you. That's what art is all about. It's what your relationship with it is. It's what what it makes you feel or doesn't make you feel, So I just I'll say this until the day I die, that ultimately it is, how do you feel interacting with a piece of art, whether it is a song, it is a film, it is a painting. Who gives a fuck what other people say? Who gives a shit about, film bros online and, theory and all that shit is great. But ultimately, like, how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of really powerful scenes in that film, but the one that just, my God, it's so good. And it's the scene that like absolutely won Mahershala his Oscar, but it's when they're sitting at the table and he asks him why. First he asks, he's like, these kids are calling me this word, and what does it mean? Like, it's a bad word. Does it mean that I'm bad? Is essentially what he's asking. And it's so complicated, right? And then once he builds that trust with him, then he asks him, like, are you a drug dealer? And there's no lies there. And then he asks, like, my mom does drugs, doesn't it? And it's the moment that reveals how morally complex Juan is, because on the one hand, he's the adult in Chiron's life who, along with Teresa, is like looking out for him, is a good father figure, but also is selling his mom drugs. Like, he is doing that, and there's no getting around it. And anyway, so there's just a lot of those scenes where it's just, I don't know. As I said, this is a film where it was so smart to not put in just these monologues that tell you all this stuff, and instead to show you it, right? Through the camera movements, through the work of the actors, and I think it's just so impactful that way. I got the impression that was what his mom called him in that scene with no audio. Yeah. And okay, so, oh my God. I mean, the style of the film, how many times in a scene, like all the sound would disappear and you would just be with Chiron. And it's almost like you're physically feeling the film, right? Like when I said, I can feel that breeze, I felt that breeze. When he's sitting there and the teacher is like, you got to turn him in, and then the sound goes out and he's like, I can feel his rage and his grief, and you can hear like his pulse pounding. It's a film that really pulls you in physically. It feels like you come out from the screen and you're there, and that is a testament to the way that it is shot, the way that it looks. Just so much about the film that pulls you right in. Yeah. Despite being a heavy movie, they don't make it a gay tragedy, which is what's important to me. So many directors who take similar topics always make it a gay tragedy in the end. So frustrating. Yeah. I look, this is a film that there is a lot of really, really deep, heavy, complex themes that are swirling around, right? We're talking about masculinity. We're talking about sexuality. We're talking about race, like all of these things going on, but it never becomes preachy. It never becomes this like deep moralizing piece, and it doesn't let those things take front stage, and it doesn't rely on just continuously hammering you over the head with trauma and tragedy to make you feel something, right? And I think that's been a tough thing with LGBTQ films, is that there's still representation is still a new thing. I mean, again, this is the first film with a gay lead to win Best Picture, and it came out in 2017. But there's still like representation LGBTQ wise still behind, right? We're catching up. And same with a lot of films that have marginalized characters and stories that are obviously, there's a political foreground, background, both. A lot of times they fall back on just being so trauma heavy, so tragic, so traumatizing, where it's like, this is the only way to represent the marginalized people's lives, is one that just is so depressing. And there's not a lot of films that really have joy, that are not ending on a fucking bleak ass note. And the thing about Moonlight is like, yeah, there's a lot of heavy stuff, but not because it's like forcing it on you, right? It's not looking to just pull the rug out from under you in like a really emotionally gotcha way, and like and almost like manipulative, Being a minority is usually treated as a tragedy. And look, for somebody like Chiron, yeah, this is a real person, right? These are real things. Being black and gay and growing up in poverty and having a parent who's deeply addicted. These are all really real issues. But it never lets those things take front, be front of the stage. And it's not like it's not throwing it in your face to make some grand message about it all, because it's a story about a story about a human being, right? And these are his circumstances, his identity, and he's discovering who he is, and he's going, he's growing up, and these are the chapters in his life, the circumstances that are shaping him, that are affecting his trajectory that he is on. Him crying while the principal is getting drowned out. You felt painful. His loneliness is there, and the acting, cinematography, direction. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I know, was just so great and cohesive and genuine. It takes you through his life. Such a great film. Yeah. Oh God. It's so. I mean, seriously, I can talk about this movie so much. La La Land or Moonlight? I mean, look, La La Land like speaks my language as well. Okay, musical, L.A. Like, La La Land is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like I loved La La Land, but Moonlight had an impact on me that La La Land did not. Like, to me, Moonlight is one of the greatest films, straight up, of the 21st century. It 1000% deserved Best Picture. Donna! Hi, Donna. Hi, Donna Raid. You guys, Donna's so back. Donna is back. Minor Threat, thank you for the 23 months. Y'all, we are just having our chat, our post film class chat. We're talking about Moonlight, which we just watched. 2017 Best Picture winner. That was also, unfortunately, one of the craziest Oscar moments of all time, when La La Land was announced as Best Picture, and it actually was Moonlight. But it's also important to know that for a long time, positive LGBT movies weren't really allowed to be made shown. So we're lacking a lot of positive stories because we literally weren't allowed to end up happy. I'm sure there's still a holdover from that era and how movies today are made. Yeah, for sure. And I will tell you, as somebody who worked in the industry, I was a screenwriter, I was an actor, I worked in production. There is this mindset, this studio mindset, where they're like, oh, a black film, a gay film, insert whatever marginalized identity film, it's gotta be tragic. There's just something about the idea that just that very existence is you only know tragedy. It's like you only horrible things can happen, so it's why, look, representation is important, but also a spectrum of representation. Not every black film should have black people being murdered by the cops. Yes, that is something that happens all the time. Unfortunately, still happens all the time. But that is not the spectrum of the black experience. Black people do not only have in their lives are not just made up of the cops killing them. And it's really important to show them as having the spectrum of human experiences, you know? Tyler Perry would disagree. And so having Moonlight, this film where, yes, you have characters who are, you know, you have drug dealers. There's drugs. It's the 80s. It's the height of the crack epidemic. Thank you, Ronald Reagan.
Caroline, we're gonna go eat.
Okay.
Do you want us to bring you food home?
Are you going right now?
Probably pretty soon.
Probably pretty soon. Could you wait like 5 to 10? I'm just wrapping up my...
10 minutes? Oh, for sure, yeah. We'll wait.
Okay, because I want to come with you guys.
Okay.
I'm just wrapping up Moonlight. Anyway, but what this film does not do is only give you that tragedy. Instead, it shows you these circumstances that are shaping, you know, Chiron's life. And I love that it ends with that beautiful moment. And, you know, it's not a Disney moment. It's not like, oh, I'm free of my repressed sexuality and like, great, I'm gonna go quit being a drug dealer and I'm going to be a counselor or whatever. It's not a Disney ending, but in that moment, you know, he finally is, he gets to be seen, he gets to be held, he gets to not hold all of this within him, and it's gorgeous. Yep, films about marginalized people shouldn't be trauma porn for white people, but film industry can only understand that way. Yeah, so anyway, I experienced that a lot. Like when I told you guys, I've told you stories of when we were taking China Doll around, and that's a horror movie, right? And its basis is my experience as an Asian woman and fetishization, blah, blah, blah. And I would have producers be like, you know what I think this film needs? Rape. I think we need a crazy rape scene. I'd be like, no, that's insane. Where it was like not enough. It was not enough that we had to have like a crazy scene where the protagonist is raped. So then you know that the bad guy's the bad guy. And I'm like, yeah, I think you know. I think there's enough that's in the script to tell you that this guy is the villain. And no, I don't think that there needs to be a rape scene in order to get that across. That like, oh, ooh, well, horror movie, woman, Asian woman, that's what we got to do. And it's not to say that films that have depicted rape and other, you know, violent abuse have not been powerful, have not had their you know, important place in history. But that's another thing that happens a lot. And like a lot of times rape scenes are very unnecessary, and the way that they are written is very gratuitous. And it's like, man, okay, let's just not. Why do we have to always do this? And why do we always have to do this way? You know? I don't think I've ever watched a movie saying that should have had more sexual assault. Yeah, and like as violent as it's often portrayed in film. Okay, what else can we say? You know, throughout the film we talked a little bit about color theory, but one thing that I wanted to make a note of was that sorry, I hear music in the background. Was that the cinematographer and Barry Jenkins, so his cinematographer, James Laxton, they did not want the film to feel like a documentary, and they also wanted to stay away from it having kind of a realist feel. A lot of times drama films these days, they are like shot and colored in a way that gives it this really gritty realism. And instead, Barry was like, I want it to almost feel dreamlike. I want to have these really gorgeous hues that, you know, feel like Miami. I want to root the color and the light in the world of Miami where these characters are. And, you know, one of the characters one of or sorry, not one of the characters, the writer, one of the writers on the script referred to it as a beautiful nightmare, Miami. And that's kind of the vibe, right? Like it is so it's gorgeous, it's cinematic, it's dreamlike, you know, you have Mozart and other classical sounds that are part of the track, that are part of the score. But then there's also like a lot of not so beautiful things that are happening. And that contrast there, that contrast with like with intense things that the characters are going through, but not shooting it or not like coloring it and lighting it in a way that's like, look how intense this is as well. Like the intensity is there, but it contrasts then with the beauty of how they lit and colored it. You know, a lot of I think again a different cinematographer and directing team plays it safer, but Barry and Laxton, they knew that they wanted it to be bold. They wanted it to be visually bold. That this was a film that was a $1.5 million budget that was not just going to be another like, here's a black guy in Miami who deals drugs and it's fucking gritty and it's so fucking real and like there's crime and whatever and he's gay. But they wanted to have this really bold lighting. They wanted it to have the, you know, the feel of film, but different kinds of film stocks depending on what chapter they were in. And just how expressive that they were with the visual language. You know, it's just so visually stunning, right? I think this movie might win an Oscar. You know, I think you might be right about that. Does anybody have any questions? Anything that you weren't clear about? Any comments you want to make about, you know, just maybe something that affected you or that you experienced or, yeah, I cannot believe that Naomi Harris shot her scenes in 3 days. 3 fucking days in between filming. She's the only character to be in every single chapter too. And she's got, you know, she's has her own journey. And do you think there's a reason why there's no adult Chiron with Teresa scene? Because I think the emphasis is on the scene with his mother, right? Because Teresa was, especially after Juan died, was like seemingly the most stable adult in his life. And you get the sense that like she's still there, you know, he's grown up, but that this is something that has had a massive effect in a really hard way. And I think that's why there wasn't a scene with Teresa, because there didn't really need to be, right? We didn't need to have that scene with Teresa, but the scene with his mother was important. Maybe he was too ashamed to see her after he started dealing drugs. I mean, Teresa knew though that Juan was a drug dealer, you know? That was what was interesting, is like Juan was a drug dealer. And there was like he was not like sneaking around doing that, but you saw this like beautiful marriage relationship that he had with Teresa, you know, the two of them. And drug dealers are people too, especially after Juan told Chiron that he would miss his mom even though he hated her. Yeah. As a black person, my mom had an interesting response to this film where she thought it was well made, but still felt burnt out that most films about black folks still center their existence in the hood. Yeah, that's, you know, fair. I think that's why having just a spectrum of representation, but also this was a film that was specifically set in a time period where like because again, thank you to Ronald Reagan, the crack epidemic in this country and the effect that it had on Black and brown communities. So there's, a historical tie in there. And I also think because this is a story too about a boy's journey into becoming an adult man and him coming from this background and also being gay. And I think that's something we also don't see a lot, like gay black representation in that sense. Like that's just how little representation there is, that there's a lot of love stories out there. There's a lot of identities that have yet to be explored on film. Was there discourse at the time between the depiction made in Moonlight about black queerness in the 80s and white gayness in Call Me by Your Name? Honestly, probably. Not that I can remember. I'm sure there's someone who's written an essay out there about how Luca Guadagnino does queer films, comparing Call Me by Your Name to something like Moonlight. There's surely an essay or 5. I also was not as terminally online though as I am now, where if you're like, is there discourse? You'd be like, oh yeah, there's discourse. Also, you can just expect that these days, there's discourse about everything. I remember the moment as a kid where I first questioned my gender. I remember it truly felt like the film, feel like this film, the surreal feeling. I dissociate yet remember the grass I was sitting on, the plants to my left, my cousin's driveway, and the complex, my hair, and the barrettes that hit my hair all the time, eyes all the time. I was like 6, maybe 8. I'm 22 now. Yeah, and that's why I think he does such a gorgeous job in capturing that surrealness, that almost kind of a dream where you might not remember what someone said to you, but you remember how you feel. That's a quote I think about all the time, is we don't remember all the specifics per se, but we remember how we felt. And I think that emphasis on the breeze hitting his face, his fingers in the sand, those are all memories that he'll never ever forget, and may not remember exact words, but absolutely remember the emotions and how someone made you feel. Just to point out, the mom forcing money out of him is a very core experience in these stories that they did well, because it's a memory as clear as day, and the mom's expressions before and outside. How would you think the content of this film could translate to something like a book format with respect to subtext? It would be very hard to achieve what this film did. So actually, it is adapted from a play that is semi-autobiographical. It was a play that was unpublished. The play was titled In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue. And it was written by Alvin McCraney. And so it's funny that you say that, because it actually was adapted from a play, and you have that theatrical feel through the structure of 3 different chapters being 3 different points in one character's life, and having 3 different actors play that character. I want to watch this movie for a long time. I never did. So glad I watched it. But now, how can I recommend this to friends who might not be interested in black queer film? Don't tell them it's a black queer film. Just be like, it's a great fucking movie. Just be like, this movie won the best picture in 2017. It's one of the best films of the 21st century. And it's a gorgeous character-driven drama, right? That's what it is. It's a character-driven drama that's beautifully shot. Do you feel like Moonlight would not have had as much of the success and acceptance as a film had shows like The Wire being out there first? You mean not been out there first? Yeah, I mean, look, media, film, TV, it builds on each other, right? We can't get to here without having this first. So you look at like the beginning of Black representation, and it was all Black women played mammy characters, like Gone with the Wind, Hattie McDaniel. So that's how representation works, is like it starts off pretty rudimentary. You're lucky to even be on screen. Most of the time it's a white person doing a poor depiction of a queer character or a Black or other character of color. And so yeah, I think shows like The Wire definitely has its very important place in cinema history. And question outside the film, but what are the differences between a screenplay written for a play as opposed to a film? So a play would, it's written for theater versus being written for being filmed on camera. What are there's a lot of differences just between like stage directions and the way you format a play versus like typically you format a screenplay for a film. Yeah, you have limitations on your stage versus like when you're filming via a camera, you don't have those same restrictions that you do like when you're on a stage. Okay, I just want to say that I've discovered some of my favorite movies through your film classes. Thank you, Caroline. You're so welcome. Okay. All right. Okay. Y'all, I'm so sorry if I didn't get to your questions or your comments. You know what, Anon? We should just run it back. We should run it back and pretend it's La La Land. So funny. But I think that's going to be it for me. Okay. I have been going for like 12 hours. I'm going to go get some food. The starving twink is behind me. I know I told him 10 minutes, probably been longer than that. But thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed film class. We're so back. I love that movie. It makes me cry every time. And thank you if you joined, if you donated, anything that you did to support the Creators for Peace stream today. Thank you very much. And that's what I got for you. Tomorrow, I do not know if I will be live. It is podcast day, and I just got a lot. I got a lot going on. I always got a lot going on, but I always love to be here with you guys. I do. So probably won't be live tomorrow night, but definitely will be live on Tuesday. And take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Remember, life is all about human connection. I really do believe that. Okay, I'm going to send you guys to Sam, who I guess has been on Twitch for 5 years because she's so fucking old. Yeah, that's why I love movies. I do, because they're just incredible. It's incredible visual medium, and the stories that are told, and the connections that are formed. I love it. I can't get enough. 3 weeks without movie night. You came back with a great one. That's how we do it. All right. I will see you guys the next time I see you. Good night, and solidarity, peace, love, all those good things. Bye.